Hey there YouTube, Elite Legionario here, bringing you a 1 vs 1 for Total War Rome 2. This time we'll be on a pretty deserted map with a size sloping field. I don't know the names of the fields yet, but I will try and remember them. This was a quick battle and I chose to use Rome. As you can see my forces there, I have 2 Balearic Slingers. I have, for infantry, I have 6 armoured legionnaires. I have, for cavalry, 3 Praetorian cavalry and 1 auxiliary cavalry. I would have used more auxiliary cavalry, but I saw us up against the Arverni, and of course they have noble cavalry, which is the strongest melee cavalry in the game at the moment. So as a result, I knew I'd need very strong melee cavalry, or the best I could get, so I had to take Praetorians. So here I was just showing you guys some of the units up close there, because this is recording over the original recording. I also had 4 units of auxiliaries there, which is spearmen auxiliaries, and of course the standard general's bodyguard. So just giving you some close-ups of the units. These are just auxiliary infantries. So this is a pretty realistic Roman army, really, apart from the Praetorian cavalry. It is fairly realistic. It's got auxiliaries, it's got legionnaires, auxiliary cavalry types. It's actually a pretty realistic army for the most part. So anyway, but I'm up against the Arverni, which in my opinion is it hasn't got as much variety as Rome, but if it spams the right its 2 strongest units, it is technically stronger than Rome. So I was really worried about this, because in my opinion the Arverni Oathsworn are stronger than any Roman infantry. I've tested it and it always beats them. And the Arverni Noble Cav is also better than any Roman cavalry. So that's going to make this kind of tricky. I was a little bit concerned about it. So here's some close-ups of the legions running in there. Looking pretty good. I will aim to just, when they actually fix the replay so that you can look at the end results, I will actually work to do it from them, because that way I can actually get more close-ups. As my original replays are now, they're not corrupted, but they're not how the games don't pan out the way they originally did, so I can't really use them. So my opponent there's got, I think it's 5 units of Oathsworn. His name's Legat. He's got about 4 or 5 units of spear nobles. I believe he had up front there, he had some slings, and he had, I think it was 3 noble horse. So I was pretty worried, because he's got a pretty very strong infantry corps, and he has got 3 of those noble horse, which, you know, will cream most, I'm pretty sure, any other cavalry units, because they got a phenomenal. This was before, just to point out, this was before patch 3. So at that point they had 88 defense, which is a phenomenal amount of defense. And with the cavalry mechanics in Rome 2 at the moment, that gives them the best stats period for cavalry in Rome 2 at this stage in the proceedings, I guess. I also forgot to mention I have a unit of shock cavalry, which is a Associate Equite Extraordinario. I forgot to mention that. That's it out there. This one I'll select now. I'm going to use that to get a rare charge to try and turn the infantry fight into my favour, because believe you me, armor legionnaires are good, but Oathsworn are just phenomenal. They'll easily defeat them. Fortuitously for me, I have terrain in my favour, so I'm going to try and sort of swing my flank around to make that happen. So anyway, I'm going to keep my general close and try and use him to use rally as well, just to try and keep my guys in it, because the Arverni as I said, the Oathsworn and the Noble Cav are just brilliant. Yeah, they're amazing. You just see so many mighty victories coming from those guys. I've even seen Oathsworn go full on into foot companions and at least come out with a tie, and that's not actually outmaneuvering them like you're supposed to in Rome 2, so they're just really powerful. So anyway, out there on the flank, I decided to charge his noble horse with my auxiliary spearmen, which should at the very least make sure they get stuck in battle. I just want to stall them because I really want to be able to use my cavalry to help my infantry as much as I can. So I open up my Balearic slingers on his slingers. That should be easy picking some of my Balearic slingers because they are better slingers. So his noble horse down here, but he's got some spear nobles in, but I just want to hang up as much of it as possible so that I can use my guys as best I can. So I make sure I got my lines stretched out long. As you remember, I did those tests with Doc Holliday about this. It seems to suit the Rome 2 factions better if you stretch your infantry in longer lines. I also make sure I charge, that way I definitely get my peeler where he won't, seeing as only charging units get peeler. So I'm going to try and come around here and do an encirclement, and I was going to get you some close-ups here. It might lag a bit though, and I think they did throw their peeler, although it probably isn't showing it. So I have to get my guys around quick, so I've got to get my auxiliary onto the flank to make sure I can outflank any units there, and I've brought my other Praetorian cav around, and I'm going to hold up his noble horse. I do a pretty good job of it though, because I've got spears and support, plus the Praetorians have the ability Draco, which is extremely useful. So I'm going to activate that now, and that reduces their morale. And I probably should have gone to the Flying Wedge as well. And I'm going to peel that unit of auxiliary off to make sure I win that, otherwise I will lose that cavalry fight, because those noble cav are better than Praetorian cav. As you can see, my infantry is very quickly getting beaten. I bring my general up here to rally, but my armoured infantry is armoured legionnaires. They're a good infantry unit, but Oathsworn are just absolute monsters. So I'm going to activate Trample here, and here it is now, and that'll help me with the charge. So I was really worried at this point because my infantry line has just completely caved in almost immediately. So this is the sheer power of Oathsworn. I hardly touched them. And I'm just rallying my army here. However, I forget to move my general out in time, which was a real problem. But fortunately, a couple of very good cavalry charges here with Draco activated from my other Praetorian cav, and with my auxiliary coming on the flank, does actually inflict quite a bit of damage on some of those Oathsworn, which was surprising, and it does quite a lot of morale damage. Unfortunately, my armoured legionnaires will not completely run off the field, so they'll come back. However, I did forget to remove my general, and that was a real big problem, and I do actually lose them, so I was really worried after that. Thanks to my auxiliary support there, I was able to make sure I stopped his cavalry, and that's the only real reason why I remain in this game at this stage. If that had not happened, I would have been easily defeated. As you can see though, I'm still very much probably on the back foot so far. So here I see a unit of spear nobles there. I'm just going to try and keep them out of the fight at this stage, because as you can see, my infantry is still in full rout there, but my auxiliaries are holding, but I don't know for how long. And here I activate Draco, although I forgot I didn't check the aura properly, so I was a wee bit close, but I do manage to get a couple in there, so it's okay. So I've got to get these extraordinary, because they're a shock cav, so I want to keep them using charges. But as you can see, my infantry units have regrouped, so I am still in this now if I do it right. As you can see, because of the use of Draco and various other morale shocks, some of those Oathsworn are starting to break up now. So I was very fortuitous there as well, because I was really thinking as soon as my armoured legionnaires were out, I thought I was really in deep trouble there. But I'm bringing them back down now, and they'll get another charge with their peeler as well, so that's very useful. But that Draco is very handy indeed, very helpful. I think it really did, the morale damage it did was very useful. My Balearic slingers have kept constant missile fire going, and I'm going to quickly charge my enemy again. And I will look to use Draco and Trample with my cavalry when I can, because that's been turning fights in my favour the entire time. So as you can see, a lot of his guys are starting to break up. So I mean, if you go 1 for 1, Roman infantry's no match for Oathsworn at this stage. I activate the whip here just to make their attack more fierce, so I can continually take advantage of the damage morale of a lot of these Arverni infantry now, because I'm wondering, just I might be wrong, don't quote me on this guys, but I'm wondering if perhaps the morale of some of these units is not as high as the Romans. They might be stronger, but they might have the morale, because they seem to be breaking and not recovering as fast as mine were. That might just be the way this game went though. It might not actually affect the overall performance of Arverni infantry, but I am actually going to win this now. But that really looked in serious doubt there on a couple of occasions. But I think it's fair to say that the Oathsworn and the Noble Cav are definitely better than even Praetorian Guards, and Praetorian Cavalry. So that's a good game though to my opponent Legate. I think it was number 19, yes it was. And I'm just saving that, and you can see the results here. So there we go. I mean, if we look at my infantry there, only a couple of units really did anything great. Most of them collapsed. The cavalry though did very well, and the auxiliaries supported well. If we look at over there, I'm sort of scanned all over the place. The Oathsworn did very much dominated that fight, and the spears were quite good as well. My Balearic slingers both got up over 100 there. I did lose my general, but I was very lucky that didn't cause a mass rout. But overall, it was a fairly good game, and I enjoyed it. Quite lucky there. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.